Welcome to FedScoop TV. I'm Wyatt Cash, and we're here at the Government Innovation Forum. Joining us today is Cynthia Hilsinger, Chief Knowledge Officer, Regional Health Command Atlantic for the U.S. Army. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
I want to talk a little bit about some of the strides that the federal government has made in the way of innovation and transformation, and I want to get your sense for some of the progress you think that you've seen firsthand over the last year.
I would say for innovation, we're looking at different ways of working and different ways of managing our employees and the challenges that we have. There was a time in healthcare and in work where you went to a specific place and you got things taken care of. Now, the endpoints are where you're being taken care of. The endpoints are where work is happening. So we have people on my team that are in Maine and North Carolina and Virginia, and we all collaborate together to come up with a solution for our challenges and our patients and our needs.
Another question as we talk about tech modernization in government, that one of the tenets of that is to become more agile, more efficient, more flexible. Tell me a little bit about how you're seeing agility strengthen and why that's so important these days.
Well, for us, agility is giving the knowledge to the commander so he can make a decision. Well, how do we get that and aggregate that knowledge together? And so we're bringing different data sources together. We're pulling things in, not just from the Army, but across, let's say, FEMA and DOD and from other areas. We're beginning to aggregate that, pull that together, and making a common operating picture. So that helps because it gives us a shared understanding that we can deliver up to our commander. And having all of those networks and technologies and mobility so we can communicate face-to-face over networks, phone bridges, etc., brings that common operating picture together. And so we can solve these challenges, whether it's in patient movement and care, or whether it's for what professionals to bring in at a certain area. That's how we're seeing that we can respond faster, quicker, and we have a more holistic solution to deliver up to our commander so he can make the right call at the right time.
Fantastic. Tell me your thoughts a little bit around the cybersecurity issues. We know that it's an evolving challenge for federal agencies. What steps need to be made so that agencies can embrace some of these newer technologies to help keep data secure for Americans and the military workforce?
Well, I'm not going to comment exactly what our cybersecurity posture is, but the intent is that our data is protected, but yet at the same time it's open and transparent and can be shared with the people that we trust can have it. So we start looking at that. How do we build trust into the data? How do we make the data smarter? So tagging it, making sure that it can be received and there will be an up and down flow of data, maybe between clouds or to certain servers, and that it's all trusted on networks with trusted individuals. Those are the kinds of things, and I could see in the future if we're looking for a quicker to network use of new technologies. There are pilots now that are going, how do we get newer software and new technologies onto our networks quicker? And so they're dropping that time for authority to operate, from a long time to a short time, so we get newer technology usable quicker.
Well, speaking of the future, what next generation technologies do you think agencies really should be paying attention to now, and what do they need to do to get better prepared for them?
Well, this is something from my own opinion, so it's not speaking to Army policy in itself, but I start looking at how do we make the data smarter? So what kind of tagging? Can we aggregate this data into large pool sets to look for trends, perhaps more cloud-based? The next thing I'm looking at, trusted interactions. I start looking at blockchain technologies. Could we use that for data and management of an ID? I know in my own case, when a piece of data went bad in Y2K, a computer declared me dead. It was a bad piece of data. but I know who I am, and we're working to fix those things. So it's making sure that we have trust on the data that we receive, and that we can send it at the same time, making it clear, but protecting it. So look for those kinds of things of increasing trust, increasing data in itself becoming smarter, and increasing the mobility of that data to get to the endpoints where it's needed.
Well, Cynthia, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing some of your insights on what you're working on generally in the U.S. Army, and some of the technology innovations that we see taking place in government. So thank you.
Thank you, Wyatt.
Terrific. Look for more of our coverage of government innovation at fedscoop.com. I'm Wyatt Cash. Thanks for watching.